Now, I'm not going to get into the whole history of it because it'll take too long. And to be honest with you, I think a lot of you don't really want to know a history lesson. I can talk about this all day. But long story short, if it wasn't for John A. Macdonald, Canada's first prime minister, and in my opinion, one of the best prime ministers we've ever had. Now, I know about all the native Indian stuff. You know, he was a man of his time. He did wrong. It was evil. It was rotten. But I would say this, you know, if it wasn't for John A. Macdonald and his national policy, Canada by now would be part of America right now. And I mean, I don't know what many of you think of it. I mean, I personally like the fact that the small Canada, which chose to stay loyal to the crown, but nevertheless was right next to this giant, was able to stand on its own 2 feet and say, we're not going to be bullied by the America. We don't want to be part of America. We are going to survive and thrive and become a huge, powerful nation, which is going to in the future become part of the G7 and the G20 and the this and the that, NATO, all that, and be a proud, big, huge first world country. I admire that, and I'm proud of the fact that Canada did that. I think if the people who are running Canada now were running Canada back then, we'd all be doing the Pledge of Allegiance in Canada and Canadian schools by now. But nevertheless, John A. Macdonald, with his national policy, he stated that because we are a new nation surrounded by this giant America, we need to protect ourselves, stand on our own 2 feet. We're not going to get wheat from America. We'll get wheat from Saskatchewan. We'll get wheat from Ontario. If we can't make it ourselves, if we can make it ourselves, if we can grow it ourselves and we can extract it ourselves, then we're going to only take it from our people and not sacrifice our people and get it from foreigners, even though it might be cheaper, which it doesn't have to be, by the way. And John A. Macdonald saw that, and he was a genius at that, and he built the Canadian Railway from east to west so that goods and products and people can be sent all over the country and open up the west and the north and all this sort of stuff. You see, the reason for this, the reason I'm saying this is because I see a lot of Canadians going up and down, running up and down, saying, "Oh my goodness, America's posing tariffs on us. We're going to die. We're going to die. The tariffs are going to kill us. It's all over. We need America." Even though we love to make snide comments about America and Trump and all this sort of stuff, but we still need America. Even though most Canadians hate Trump, we need Trump's America. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. Canada was a new nation in 1867, surrounded by a giant America, which had been around for quite a while when Canada was born and became a self-governing dominion. America was there. America could have taken Canada anytime it wanted. But Canada and John A. Macdonald used tariffs and used nationalism and used protectionism to make Canada what it is today. And the people who are running Canada now, by the way, are destroying it. But that's another story. My point is that if America, by the way, I'm not upset with Donald Trump and the Americans for putting tariffs on us. Trump was elected to put America first. And that, God damn it, he's doing it. I admire him for that, actually. I mean, I don't listen. Why should I be angry with him? I'm angry at our leaders who destroyed our energy sector, who destroyed our manufacturing sector with carbon taxes, C-69, and all this sort of junk. Who decided to get oil from Venezuela and Saudi Arabia and even America too, and would, even though we are drowning in oil, we could have been getting our own oil. And now they're trying to say, "Oh, you want to put tariffs." I blame our people who are running our country now, who are begging America to protect it, and who are asking and begging America to use their tax dollars to protect Canada from Russia, from China, from anything. And instead, they could really, if they used their brains, we don't even need manpower. Militaries Listen, militaries don't need men. in the 21st century. We need technology. Israel should be the weakest country in the world. They have a lower population than Ontario, but they're one of they could probably whoop Canada, not because they have more men in their army, but because they have more technology and brain power. We could have the same thing. So my point is that Canada should probably say, this is an opportunity. You don't want to take our stuff, Donald Trump? Okay, fine. We won't take your stuff either. We'll impose a tariff on your stuff too, and we'll just try and focus on buying stuff from our country. If we can make it, if we can grow it, if we can extract it, we'll buy it from a Canadian and we'll impose a tariff on things coming from the United States. If and if the United States persists in tariffing all our stuff, well, we'll tariff all their stuff too, and we will look for other countries to buy things that we don't have but we need. Like, I know Canada doesn't grow oranges. We'll go somewhere else. We'll go somewhere else. It's simple. It's easy. It's completely easy. And by the way, what we'll also do is if America imposes a tariff on our goods, well then I will create a fund where we will take 5 cents out of every dollar that we collect in taxes and put it in a fund which will, among other things, pay the cost that the businesses in America have to pay if they bought Canadian goods. So the American businesses will say, okay, Trump, you impose a tariff on us if we buy Canadian goods, but we don't care because the Canadian government has a fund which will give us our money back if we buy Canadian goods. And then in the meantime, as the conservative that I am, I will make it cheaper to do business in Canada so that our goods are not only better, but cheaper. So businesses in America will say, well, look, I'm not buying goods in America. I'll buy goods from Canada. It's cheaper. And I don't have to worry about Trump's tariffs because the Canadian government will give me my money back if Trump taxes me for buying Canadian goods. And by the way, the American government can't do the same thing because even though America is the strongest country in the world, it has one of the weakest governments. And don't get me wrong, I'm a conservative. I don't belong to any party. I'm an independent, but I'm conservative minded. I'm a populist conservative. I believe in small government, but I also believe in effective government. And America doesn't have an effective government. Its government is very small, but it's also very ineffective. Trump will not be able to do anything, or almost not be able to do anything, especially when it comes to money, without the Congress. And even though he may have a majority in the Congress, and it's only a bare majority, that doesn't mean that he'll get his way. Remember when McCain was in the Congress and he did his thing, and Trump couldn't do anything. In Canada, if the governing party has a majority in parliament and somebody in that party says no, their political career is done. And you know what? I like the parliamentary system because, yes, it means that the person who's elected has a lot of power, but we can also throw him out. There are some problems with that system that needs to be addressed. I do think we need to have recall and things like that. But on a whole, even though the American government is small, it's very ineffective. America it might be the strongest country in the world militarily, but not governmentally. America probably has the weakest government in the world. And I'm not sitting here saying that we need a strong, big government. No, I believe our government and our bureaucracy needs to be small, but it needs to be effective. So it's something for the Canadians to think about. You know, you all like to ban me and silence me and ignore me and censor me. I think if Canadians and especially the people who run Canada, the politicians and the people in business and everything, listen to your old commander in chief, Michael Arana of the Arana Nation, if they listen to me a little bit more, I think Canada would be bussing right now. Canada would be bussing. Canada would be a bad mamma jamma. Canada would be whooping ass. Canada would be on top of the world. You want to impose tariffs on us, Brother Trump? Bring it on, partner. This is the